Hi storytellers, and welcome back to the Create a Story You Love YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you part 2 of a 7-part video series on 7 steps to nail down the beginning stages of your novel. If you haven't had a chance to watch the first video yet, I encourage you to go back and watch that video titled Part 1, How to Brainstorm the Story Ideas and Topics You Are Passionate to Write. But in today's video, part 2, we'll talk about drafting and writing out memories and themes from your own life, whether bad or good, and how to combine those memories with themes and tropes that inspire you from favorite novels or movies. A little aside here, the ideas I share in this video series are brainstorming techniques that have helped me to write my own novels. But it's important to remember that all writers are unique in their own way, and what works for you might not be what has worked for me. So I want to encourage you to experiment with different methods for brainstorming your own story ideas and really come up with a way that works best for you. But that being said, let's go on to talk about tips on brainstorming and drafting memories and themes from your own life as you sketch out the beginnings of your novel. Fiction has the ability to touch the hearts of readers in a very meaningful way. Much inspiration for writing our stories comes from important and powerful moments in a writer's own life. Each of us as human beings has a laundry list of good or bad memories from simply living life. Some examples of memories could be, perhaps one writer has memories of an elementary school teacher who was demeaning and made them feel small, while another writer might have the opposite memory of an elementary school teacher who encouraged them and gave them confidence. So each one has a different take, and it'll reflect in their writing. Some more examples. Perhaps, for a fiction writer, when they think of memories of their family, parents, step-parents, siblings, maybe they were told, they could do anything they set their mind to. However, in another fiction writer's memories, they might have been told that they never would be good enough to be a writer. So these are things that are, in some kind of way, memories will show up in your writing. So drawing from your own background and memories in your own life, write out a few of the powerful memories filled with emotion from your own life and break them down into vivid details. These moments and descriptive settings and emotionally driven narrative will help you form key scenes in your novel. Next, combine those descriptive emotions from your memories with themes or tropes from novels or movies that inspire you. Similar to a good movie, a good novel's context is shown through images. Whether we're watching or reading, the audience notices strong visual cues that give them a strong sense of place, mood, texture, and theme. For example, space battle scene from the first scene in Star Wars. The audience can tell that the story will involve a battle in space. They are gearing up for like a real thriller. At least that's the feeling I get when I watch that first scene in Star Wars. Or how about the scene in the Hunger Games? The first scene, Katniss is out hunting for food in the forest. And the audience can see that this scene shows people in this community nearly starving of hunger, and it makes us empathetic to the main character, and it makes us curious what is going to happen here. So this is why it's important to start your novel with an image that will quickly and powerfully show a sense of where the story takes place. It's important that you tell readers as much as you can within that first couple of paragraphs to get readers into the mood of the piece, of your narrative. So create a visual metaphor, if possible, similar to like how they do in the movies, that shows vividly the theme and the mood of the story. If you want more ideas on how to do that well, I encourage you to read the book for writers called Making a Good Script Great by Seger. And I'll add a link below this video to the book, as well as any other helpful resources that I mention. So as writers, we want to combine memories or emotional moments from our own life, which will help form key scenes in our novel. We also need to dig deeper into main characters' flaws and wounds that possibly stem from our main character's childhood. This will make your novel real to your readers, and they will really relate and resonate with your characters. A flawed character, whether in movies or novels, is infinitely more appealing to readers or moviegoers than is a character who is perfect. And I think we can all relate to that. So, speaking of characters who have many flaws and wounds, I mentioned in part one of this video series that I recently self published a cowboy sweet romance under my pen name that was very difficult to write. Honestly, it was one of the toughest novels I've written so far. And the reason it was difficult is because the theme and what was happening in the main characters' lives took an unexpected turn, forcing the story to really hit home for me. When I began writing this story, all I knew was the basic gist of it. The hero, who is a former FBI agent, begins chasing down a kidnapper to bring him to justice, while also trying to find a missing little girl at the same time. The heroine, who helps in the search, comes face to face with her stepfather, who physically and verbally abused her after her mama died when she was just a little girl. In that moment, as I wrote that scene, I suddenly realized I was writing about a sad memory from my own childhood. This moment hit home for me very unexpectedly. And I think sometimes that happens as writers when you find yourself shedding tears over a story you're in the middle of writing. Just know that it's okay. Just let the story come out as it may. You might be surprised later, like I was, that the story came out as it was meant to, with a lot of important themes. Like in my story, the important themes were forgiveness, redemption, love. And I've come to realize this is what it's like to be a storyteller. There will be bits and pieces of you in every book you write. And that's a really good thing. It makes your writing stand out because the story is told from your perspective and in your own voice. John Truby, in his excellent book, The Anatomy of Story, says, if a story is that important to you, it may be that important to a lot of people in the audience. A story that's not personal to the writer in any way will never rise above the generic. And so I've taken his advice to heart as I've been writing this current middle grade fiction adventure novel. This story is quite personal for me, as it's inspired by true events that happened in my childhood with our large family of 13 people as we pioneered land and helped build a farming community in the north. This story, in the planning stages, I foresee it's going to include a lot of sad memories of farm accidents and other painful moments, but it will also include happy memories and lots of adventures of, things like riding calves, chasing cows, riding horses and motorbikes at a young age, swinging from a homemade swing in our large Quonset, walking on tall stilts, building tree forts, skating on the creek in the winter and falling through ice, and many other adventures. So in this story, I already see themes of forgiveness, facing fear, courage, bravery, learning to love and trust, along with redemption. And these are all kind of thrown in together. And I hope that these will bring a deeper meaning to the story and to the characters themselves. And this is what we do as storytellers. Each of us adds our unique flavor and experiences to the books we write. By allowing the bits and pieces of who you are as a writer to shine in the novel you're writing, you will add that uniqueness that will make your story shine. So I want to encourage you to combine your memories and emotionally charged moments from your background and tie them with themes and tropes from novels or movies that inspire you. Some examples of tropes could be afraid to commit, alpha hero, amnesia, arranged marriage, athlete, Beauty and the Beast, a disguise, a dark secret, and many, many more. Some examples of themes are forgiveness, love, acceptance, faith, fear, trust, survival, selflessness, responsibility, redemption, and more. For example, maybe in your own story, or maybe there's a writer that's listening, in their personal story, that they never felt like they fit in. Maybe from childhood and even through young adult years, you never felt like you fit in. And perhaps because of that, you feel drawn to write a story that will reflect on some defining moments of not fitting in from your own life. So you might write a novel with the theme fish out of water. Examples of movies with this theme would be New in Town or The Proposal, where they feel like they don't fit in. And so I want to encourage you to try this action step today. Brainstorm and write down powerful defining moments from your own life. Draw from these memories and break them down into vivid details using vivid descriptions. Sketch out on a notepad examples of themes and tropes, like we just mentioned, that really resonate with you. Perhaps beside each idea, write down a short paragraph of what it is about this idea that really calls out to you or intrigues you in some way. After you've done that and made that list, you'll be ready for the next video in this series, which is part 3. This is the point where you will get to write a short summary of the story idea that pops into your head and sparks your interest and passion. And then we'll work on how to write a one-line book premise, and I'll share what that looks like in the next video. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm excited for you as you begin your journey to write amazing stories. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe below so other new writers can find this video too. Happy writing!